Friends, my name is Aleksandar Bonev. Welcome to the Dancer's Book. In today's video I'm going to teach you a Latin dance exercises which are most commonly used in international rumba. I'm going to do the exercises with those two pieces of paper towels. Enjoy the video. Alright my friends, so I'm going to start with a brief explanation of what we're going to do with those two. So those two will stay on the floor throughout of our exercise video. I know that there is plenty of products out in Amazon and some other dance studios offering. In my opinion, if you have paid anything over $10, you have wasted your money. Think about it very carefully, how much those plastic things or rubber bands or so forth have helped you improve your dancing. At the end of the day, it comes up to you and obviously your dance teacher to continue improving and to make you a better for what you're striving to be. So I'm going to use two pieces of paper. I'm going to put it on the floor very carefully. As you can see, I don't have dance shoes on. Okay, you can do so with or without dance shoes. Interestingly enough, the paper towels are perfect fit for my feet. And my feet are pretty big, so I'm pretty sure they will fit your feet as well. What we're going to do is, the first thing is we're going to place the feet in a V shape. We're going to close the inner thighs and we'll do our best that the heels are essentially going to touch and close together. From a posture standpoint, I would like to remind everyone that we obviously pick up from the center and continues to pick up from the sternum area, as well as obviously looking straight up. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to push the right foot, in my case, if you're mirroring me, it will be your left foot, to the side. As you can see, what's very important is that the paper towel remains underneath my foot. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to do it one more time. Now, if I drop the paper while pushing to the side, this means that I haven't had the so-called foot pressure towards the floor. So nothing really kept my foot connected with the floor, right? So for you, it's very important that you keep your foot on the floor while sliding that paper towel. From here, you're going to bring the paper towel and your foot in. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to push forward and then we're going to bring it back underneath. Last thing is we're going to push it back all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, and then you do your best to bring it in together. From here, I'm going to do the very same exercise, this time with the left foot. Don't worry if the paper towel starts readjusting underneath your foot. At the end of the day, based on how much pressure you will put, paper towel will move in a different way, so don't worry about that. Left foot goes to the side, and from here you bring the left foot in. Left foot goes straight forward, and you will bring the left foot in. From here, the left foot will go straight back, and you bring the left foot in. As you can see, this exercise alone can be extremely challenging. Keep in mind that quite often while you're trying it, you'll find yourself dropping the paper on the side, foot going forward, paper not moving forward, and so forth. This is a great exercise to learn how to keep your feet on the floor connected. Now, if you don't have a hardwood floor, if for example you have a carpet or so, paper towel would not necessarily work for you. If you have carpet instead of a hardwood floor in your house, what I recommend instead is, again, doing the exercise with socks, however without any sort of paper towels underneath. So the very same concept, ultimately you'll have to push towards the floor to move the foot to one side, then bring it into a neutral position. And once again, push towards the floor, straight forward, neutral position, push towards the floor, back, push towards the floor, in. Now, before I continue with the next challenging thing with those paper towels, I would like to explain something else. When you're doing those exercises, the spine should not be traveling. This is not a traveling exercise. With that being said, I'm not trying to practice my Rumba walk. I'm not trying to practice my fan position or whatever that would be. The only thing I'm trying to practice is developing a proper foot pressure towards the floor. If you find yourself that your spine is traveling and that you feel the need of moving, then you're certainly doing it incorrectly. You want to make sure that there is no actual movement from the spine. So everything that you do is truly connecting with the floor without spine traveling. Be very careful. The next thing we're going to do, I'm going to put those two back on the floor. And what I'm going to try to do, besides pointing my foot certain directions, is to start rotating and creating a better shape for my feet. So I'm going to do the first thing with my right foot, which may happen to be left foot in your case. So as soon as I move the foot forward, I'm going to try to turn it out a bit more. Okay? So I'll do it one more time. And this time I will not turn my foot. I can keep it straight forward, but the proper way of doing it is truly turning it out. From here, I'm going to bring the foot back, and I'm going to go to the side. While doing so, I can simply point the foot, but what I would like to do is again open it. Then from here, I'm going to bring the foot in, and obviously we have a movement backwards. As soon as I do the move back, I'm going to do my best to open the hip flexor. And then from here, I'm going to bring the foot underneath. Next foot, left foot in my case, could be the right foot in your case. So I'm going to move the foot forward. I'm going to turn my foot out a bit more, and then I'm going to bring the foot back. Now my left foot will go to the side, pushing it to the side, and I'm going to turn the foot out. As you can see, the paper towel remains underneath my foot, relatively speaking. It's okay if it's not the exact center. Keep in mind that we're readjusting the foot, and most of the time we're connected with the bow of the foot instead of flat foot, especially when we're pointing it forward, sideways, or backwards. With that being said, of course the connection changes, right? So the level of the connection, foot to floor, changes throughout the movement. And then from here, actually, let me do it a bit more sideways. And from here, I'm going to bring it in. And one more movement, of course, left foot goes back, vertical, and let's try to open the hip flexor a bit more. And from here, of course, simply bringing it underneath. Now, do your best to finish with semi-feet together. All right, my friends, before I continue by showing you the same exercise from a different angle, I would like to remind you that you can subscribe to our channel by clicking the button underneath. It says subscribe and it's red. And of course, hit the like button. So, I'm going to put the paper towels on the floor once again, and we're going to do the very same exercise. As you know, in Latin, most of the time, the pressure comes towards the ball of the foot. So, we go bow, make sure that you open the inner thigh, bring it in. And once again, bow, and you can open or you can close the inner thigh, right? Open and close, bring it underneath. And I'll push it back. As you can see, I've opened it. Does this remind you of a little bit of a samba maybe? Then close it and open and close, bring it underneath. Change your weight. Left foot free. I'm going to go forward and I will open and close. Left foot goes underneath. I'm going to go sideways and I can rotate, and from here I'm going to bring it in, and of course I'm going to have my movement backwards, and again I can open or close, and then of course push underneath. Little reminder for all dancers there, when you place the feet together you'll have to replace your weight. Okay, now this exercise is focusing on one foot, all three directions before changing weight. One foot, three directions, changing weight. If you would like to work on a weight change, you will have to do it slightly different. And I'm gonna do only a movement backwards. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push back, obviously open hip flexor or a closed hip flexor. From here, when I bring the feet together, I'll change weight and I'm gonna go back on the left and I can open or close and then of course bring in and change weight. I can go to the right and open and close. Feet together, change weight, going to the left, open, close, bring it in. Bring it home, bring it home, bring it home, bring it home, bring it home. And if that happens, did you see what happened? The connection was almost lost. The truth is that there is certain friction that is very difficult to beat, especially when you're doing so with a paper towel. Quite frankly, that's probably another advantage on a simple paper towel comparing with a very expensive equipment that most likely won't really bring you much quality in your dancing. I'm going to tell you a short story before I continue with the next exercise of mine. It was probably a good, oh my gosh, probably a good 15, 18 years ago. Had a coach of mine, the story happened actually in Bulgaria. A coach of mine, he asked my dad, who was watching our practice with my partner at that time, dancing together, and he asked my dad to, the coach asked my dad to give him, at that time, let's call it a $2, ultimately 2 singles. He placed the 2 singles on the floor and he asked me to step on those 2 singles, obviously a single per foot. And he made it clear, Alex, you drop the single, single is mine, and then you owe money to your father. So you can see how easy you have to improve your footwork and balance related to the floor, otherwise you start losing money. That may be much helpful than any sort of equipment. And once again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, you still have time, just make sure you click the button underneath, it says subscribe. All right, now let's go to the next exercise that is in fact one of my very favorite exercises. How many of you are playing tennis? I love tennis. I'm not good, but it's one of my favorite sports. Now, here's a tennis ball. Quite inexpensive, will cost you pretty much nothing. You can buy it anywhere from Walmart to a Dick's. So, you'll need this ball in order for you to do the very next exercise of mine. The exercise will help you straighten your ankles. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put the ball. First of all, I'm going to start with very, very, very low, right around my ankle arches, okay? My feet will remain V-shaped, so here's the very important thing. My feet remain V-shaped. What I'm going to do is, very first thing, I'm going to soften my knees without lifting the heels of the floor. Take a look. Softening my knees without lifting the heels of the floor. And as you can see, I'm trying to create and keep that straight line of mine. An incorrect way will be if you do this. Okay, so we'll do it very much so in a straight manner. From here, we're going to straighten up. And a different angle. Good, I didn't lose the ball yet. So I'm going to do it once again, going straight down. As you can see, my heels are not off the floor. And now I'm going to go up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to soften the knees. And we'll go on the ball of the foot. Okay? Just make sure you're keeping that ball together. Okay? Then you can go even more further forward. Then ball of the foot again. And then put your feet on the floor. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to elevate. Lift up. Try not losing your balance and keep that ball. Go higher. Go down. Okay, so here's the trick, here's the key. When I squeeze the ball with about this part of the foot, okay, everything closes. My inner thighs, my knees, ankles, everything closes, everything collects together. Here's that number one thing that you would like to do when you're dancing Latin or American rhythm for that matter. You want to close. So you hit the line, then you would like to close precisely before you move for the next action of yours. So once again, underneath. Good. And obviously doing the exercise as explained. And going down. The other thing is, every time when you're contracting and you're working down or up, you're working on your ankles. You're working on developing a stronger ankles. That will help you significantly when you're dancing about any dance. If you're an international standard dancer, perfect. This is what you need. You do have rise and fall. You're creating swing. Excellent. So dear friends, if you like my videos, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. This is the Dancer's Book. It was my pleasure. See you in the next video.